Hello and welcome back to another episode of Football Pundits podcast and our second preview for Champions League games. We have Porto versus Juventus. Before we move forward, I would like to thank our video sponsors, Jersey Republic. Do remember to follow them on Instagram, and you can find their link in the descriptions below. And do remember to like, share, and subscribe to our videos, and do remember to click on the bell icons as well. So let's start with you, Jonathan. I mean, this is an affair and a player who left you guys and who's going to be playing for Juventus, who has scored so many bicycle kick goals against Juventus itself. So what do you think on that with this fixture itself right now?
I miss the beautiful Cristiano, but I think he's doing great at Juve so far. He's having an amazing season. I think he's averaging almost like a goal per 90 in the league.
Yeah.
And he scored today actually versus Roma.
Exactly.
The day of this recording. I think this game is really important for Juve because they haven't made it that far with Ronaldo. I don't think they made it past the round of 16 with Ronaldo yet. Did they make it to the quarters?
The quarters the last time.
Yeah, quarters, and then they got knocked out by Ajax. I think this game says this is the moment where they say we're a serious team now. We're not going to get knocked out by Porto or some like small team like Lyon. Like this is where they make a statement. I think everyone is expecting them to win, but it's more about how they win. Do they struggle or do they cruise through? I think this is where they make their statement. This is where Juve says we're on the level with Bayern. We're on the level with Real Madrid. We need people to take us seriously now. And I think there's no better man to make them or help them with that than Cristiano Ronaldo, the greatest of all time.
I mean, when we speak about Cristiano Ronaldo, I mean, he is the man to focus on in this fixture itself. He's the Champions League god, I would like to say, because he hasn't always turned into a beast when he sees that he's playing UEFA games. So, Anshuman, what do you think? I mean, will he be able to turn his beast mode on and get the goals which he usually used to? When I remember the game when Real was playing against Bayern Munich, and then he came around and just turned the second leg around and went on to the semi-final, or it was the final, I think. From semis to final, right?
It was the quarter-final, going into the quarter-final.
Okay, so
I just before Anshuman jumps in, but I still watched that entire season's Real's walk to the Champions League final. Like that was that's just some season, man. Like against Juventus, against Atletico, like he just ripped apart teams.
I mean, yeah, that's gonna come into play. Ronaldo's gonna come into play. Like, it's inevitable. If he's playing a Champions League, even if he does not score, I think he's gonna be the central figure. Definitely, he's gonna be the one who will be making the plays. He's gonna be the one who will be doing the pillars work in the field, basically. And I believe, but also for a fact, I think this is also Pirlo's management, which is going to come into test because he's also fairly new with the team. All right. And he's also finding his footing, but he has a certain kind of experience with the team. He has that legacy with the team. So he's, in that sense, he's comfortable and he has the experience of Champions League, which is as you said about Pochettino, is that is where they differ with the experience factor. And I believe that is where I think Pirlo also understands that what kind of team Juve is. They have a lot of wingers that are more pacey. They are more faster than the team he used to play with. Right? They are less technical. They are more aggressive. And with Ronaldo in the team, it has a completely different structure going around. And I think that is where Porto lacks with that kind of team right now. I believe, because I believe they have Felipe Andersons, they have quick players, they have good defenders with Malang Sarr and all. But I believe that the kind of, as Jonathan just said, the statement factor, I think that will take Juve out of this fixture. ahead, and I believe it would be a dominant one. I all hearts to Porto. I don't see them doing wonders or doing anything around Juve.
Yeah.
So I mean, in the group stages, both teams were fared fairly well. I mean, they both Juventus finished at the top of the league, at the top of the group stages. They won 5 out of the 6 games. Same with Porto. Porto also won 5 out of the 6 games. So what do you think, Rishabh? You are the one who's always going for the underdog. You always root for the underdogs in games like these. So
it's not about the underdog. It's just that I've started following Porto this season, and it's just the 2 losses that they've had. Otherwise, the wins, the draws, and the wins and the draws are the same as Sporting Lisbon. So I still feel, again, I'm not going to go into the Portuguese league, but there's a long way to go. Porto can still win, and they kept out. So talking about the Champions League campaign, they kept 5 clean sheets in their own group stage. So they only considered 3 goals, which was against the Man City team, and we know like how Man City score and all that stuff, right?
If you look at Porto's league stats, they're not that far off from Juventus. I think Porto's averaging like 5.9 shots per game and 3 goals, which is actually more than Juve. But Juve is like slightly less than that.
Yeah.
I think Porto they're not having the worst season they've ever had. But they're not at their best either. And I think they have to be at their best to beat this kind of Juve team.
Yeah.
But Juventus actually made a big statement when it was an eye opener, not a big statement, that when Ronaldo missed out the few games because of the COVID testing positive, the team actually was struggling at that point. And the moment he came back, I remember the game he came back on. He came in as a sub at the 51st minute and still managed to score a couple of goals.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that was the impact. I still know that Ronaldo has at this team at the age of 36, who turned a couple of days ago.
I mean, like any kind of big player like this, and I'm not talking about only about football. We talk about any other sport, any kind of that kind of impact player. If any team has that, of course, once he goes away for some reason, that team is going to struggle, right? So it's inevitable, right?
I think it's natural.
So
it's natural, but it's also a weakness, because we see this again with Barcelona as well. Whenever Messi's not around, they struggle. There's this kind of over-reliance on those type of players, and they don't seem to have like a plan B. And so when we see Ronaldo out of that Juve team, Juve just seems lost. They don't know where the goals are going to come from. They don't know who's going to be taking the shots. And so, I mean, if Ronaldo gets injured or gets COVID or is suspended for whatever reason, I think Porto might be looking at this as, one of the situations where they can maybe, come up with a surprise.
Yeah. I feel it's going to be a tough game. It's not going to be just a walk in the park for Juve. Juve still wins it, but it's still going to be it's going to be a tough time for them.
I think the advantage is for Juve because they are going in. I think Porto is having the home game first, and then Juventus has the home game in the second leg. So I think it's advantage with Juventus because obviously having a home game in the second leg is always more beneficial, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and I told you, right? Like they defensively, they're not. I'll not say like very strong, but they're okay. So and just because and like Juve is not that good as like they're not scoring 7-8 goals every game, right? Like so they score it, but like they're not scoring like at a ruthless pace. So if Porto can hold them out, even for a 0-0 draw, and then they go to Juventus for the second leg, and they can nick like 1 goal just to make that game exciting. I still feel like anything can happen in that game. So
I mean that's for sure, because I mean, to speak on Jonathan's point, I mean, when you talk about players like Messi and Ronaldo, the teams are definitely built around them. So, I mean, if they are going to be the missing link in the playing 11, then obviously the team is going to struggle. Even though, I mean, Juventus has players like Dybala and Morata and all the other players they have who are great playmakers right now, but they still need the team and the tactics to work, because the tactics are revolving around Ronaldo at this stage. So that is definitely going to be a big factor.
See, what we've seen from Juventus this season is any kind of big game they have to play, they will play at their best and they will win it. They won the Coppa Italia. They had to win against AC Milan, otherwise the league was probably getting away from them. They won against them. So it's going to, I feel like, it's going to be a tough game, but Juventus still nicks it for me.
So what are your scoreline predictions for this one then?
I would say 3-1.
3-1 Juventus? Okay, Jonathan, what do you think of this?
I'm with them. 3-1 on aggregate, for sure.
Yeah, same. 3-1.
I think it's going to be even more in favor of Juventus. I think it's going to be a 5-1 something, because I've been following Juventus for the past 1.5 months, like very closely, and seeing the form Ronaldo is playing in. I think he has already clicked onto the beast mode, knowing that he has to play the Champions League. So he has already turned his god level on right now, because he's scoring in every single game right now. Even with penalty or without penalty, that doesn't matter right now. It's
and just like 2 or 3 days ago, Pirlo substituted him. Then there was a huge talking point.
Yeah.
And now Ronaldo is angry because he got substituted and he wanted to score more goals.
But Rohil, if you started following Juventus for the past 1 month, I think this is the best period you've seen of Juventus then. Because
I mean that's specific. Yeah.
This is the style that I wanted to see from Pirlo, because I was expecting a lot of good things, and I was actually expecting for him to run away with the league. But that's not the case, right? Like AC Milan's on the top.
I think every team struggled when they started the first season, like this season, because this is, as we call it, an asterisk season. Yeah. So I think every team took some time to find their footing in this kind of rules and VAR coming in again. And then but right now, I think getting back to form just before the Champions League, I believe that is the most crucial period and opportunistic time you could have had.
Yeah,
I believe
that's true. I mean, so let's see what happens. Thank you for joining us on this podcast, guys. And do remember to like, share, and subscribe to our videos, and do not forget to click on the bell icon. So, thank you.